All right, so are you ready for a deep dive? Today we're going to take a look at December 29th, 2024. And like we always do, we're going to see what the planets have in store for you.
We'll be looking at your unique astrological chart and break down all the different placements and aspects. It's going to be fascinating.
This is way more than just your basic daily horoscope. This is about understanding the specific energies that are going to be influencing your day.
We're going beyond the sun sign stuff.
Right. And you know what? I was taking a peek at the chart earlier, and there's this interesting square between Jupiter and Saturn today.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, could lead to some challenges, but also some amazing opportunities if you know how to work with that energy.
Definitely. But first, let's talk about the sun. It's shining bright in Capricorn today.
Capricorn is a sign of the ambition, hard work, and maybe a little bit of a tendency towards workaholism.
Exactly. Capricorn energy is all about pragmatism, setting goals, and taking those practical steps to make them happen. You got to think of Saturn, Capricorn's ruler, as that cosmic taskmaster, reminding us about discipline and responsibility.
So it's a good day to get things done. But what about having some fun? The moon is in Sagittarius today, isn't it?
It is, and that brings a wonderful dose of adventure and freedom-seeking into the mix. It's like this inner tug of war. Capricorn says, get things done, while Sagittarius whispers, let's explore.
So how do we balance those seemingly opposite energies? Capricorn wants to work hard, while Sagittarius wants to play.
Finding a balance is key. Maybe it's about weaving in a bit of spontaneity into your structured day, like tackling a project with a fresh perspective or learning something new.
That makes sense. It's like adding a little spice to the Capricorn routine.
Exactly. And speaking of expanding our minds, Mercury, the planet of communication and thought, is also in Sagittarius today.
Ooh, Mercury in Sagittarius. Does that mean we're all going to be talking about our travel plans?
Well, Sagittarius does love to explore, so travel might come up. But more broadly, Mercury in Sagittarius wants us to think big, to have those philosophical discussions, and to really embrace a broader perspective.
So no small talk today. We're going deep. I love it. Now, where does Venus fit into all of this? Relationships and all that.
Venus is currently in Aquarius, and that adds an interesting twist to the day's energy. Aquarius is all about independence, innovation, and challenging the status quo.
So should we all be rebelling against commitment today?
Not necessarily. It's more about expressing affection in unique and authentic ways. It's about appreciating individuality within relationships and understanding the importance of freedom.
So maybe instead of a typical dinner date, we try something a little more, I don't know, offbeat, something that sparks intellectual curiosity.
Exactly. Think outside the box when it comes to connecting with your loved ones. Okay, now let's talk about Mars, the planet of action and energy. It's in fiery Leo today.
Leo is all about passion and self-expression, right? So is this the day to finally conquer that karaoke stage?
Well, you could definitely channel that Mars and Leo energy into a bold performance. But on a broader scale, it's encouraging us to tap into our passions, to take those creative risks, and to step into our leadership potential.
This is shaping up to be a day full of exciting possibilities. But wait, there's more, right? We got some interplanetary aspects to unpack as well. Those can really shake things up.
Absolutely. The angles between planets, also known as aspects, create those dynamic interactions that can really color our experiences.
So it's like the planets are having these little conversations with each other, and we get to feel the effects here on Earth.
That's a great way to put it. So let's start with the moon conjunct Mercury. That's happening in Sagittarius, remember, so it's going to amplify our desire for communication, learning, and exploration.
I was just thinking about how much I'm craving those deep, stimulating conversations today.
Well, there you go. It's a fantastic time to connect with friends, share ideas, or even just curl up with a good book.
Okay, sounds great. But hold on a sec. We also have a Mars-Pluto opposition happening today. Those are two pretty intense planets.
Yes, this aspect can definitely bring some friction. It's that cosmic tug-of-war between Mars, our drive for action, and Pluto, the planet of transformation and power dynamics.
So how do we navigate that potential for conflict without getting completely steamrolled?
Well, the key is to be mindful of power dynamics. Instead of trying to force your will on others, it's important to find constructive outlets for that intense energy. Think about being assertive with respect, channeling your passion into creative projects, or even just going for a run to release any pent-up frustration.
All right, deep breaths, everyone. We can handle this. Now, what about that Jupiter-Saturn square you mentioned earlier? That sounds like a clash of the titans.
It is a challenging aspect for sure. You've
Yeah.
got Jupiter, which expands and seeks opportunity, and then you've got Saturn representing boundaries and limitations. When they square off, it can create feelings of restriction, delays, or maybe a sense that your progress is being blocked.
So is it a day for throwing in the towel and just staying in bed?
Absolutely not. It's about adjusting your expectations and embracing patience and perseverance. Remember, Saturn's lessons are often about building a solid foundation, even if it takes a little longer than we'd like.
So instead of getting discouraged, we can use this energy to refine our plans, double-check our work, and make sure we're building something that will last.
Exactly. Remember, even challenges can be opportunities for growth.
I feel like my brain is buzzing with all these planetary influences. It's amazing how much is happening up there in the cosmos and how it's all reflected in our lives down here.
It truly is a fascinating interplay. But before we jump into the next layer of your cosmic roadmap, let's take a moment to reflect. What stands out to you from everything we've discussed so far?
I'm really struck by this whole idea of balancing the grounded, ambitious energy of Capricorn with the free-spirited, adventurous nature of Sagittarius.
It's a powerful combination for sure. It's like a reminder that we can achieve great things while also allowing ourselves the freedom to explore and grow.
We don't have to choose between structure and spontaneity, right?
Yeah.
It's about finding that sweet spot where both can thrive.
Couldn't agree more. And that's a great segue into the next part of our deep dive, where we'll explore how you can harness this cosmic energy to create a fulfilling and meaningful day.
Can't wait. Stay tuned, everyone, because we're about to unlock even more astrological wisdom.
Welcome back to our cosmic journey. We've already uncovered some pretty potent planetary placements for December 29th, but, there's always more to explore.
Oh, yeah. We've talked about the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. But what about those outer planets, the ones that, move a little slower but can really shake things up in the long run?
Excellent point. Let's start with Uranus, the planet of innovation, and those unexpected changes it's been transiting through Taurus, which might be prompting you to reassess your values, especially when it comes to like finances and material possessions.
Uranus and Taurus, that sounds like a recipe for some exciting breakthroughs, but also maybe some surprises that we need to be prepared for.
Precisely. Uranus and Taurus is all about breaking free from those outdated patterns and embracing those new ways of doing things.
So should we be bracing ourselves for a financial windfall or like a sudden urge to become a minimalist? What kind of shakeups are we talking about here?
It's less about predicting specific events and more about being adaptable and open to new possibilities.
Hmm.
Maybe you'll stumble upon an innovative investment strategy, or you suddenly discover this newfound appreciation for simple living.
It's like Uranus is pushing us out of our comfort zones, especially when it comes to how we think about security and stability.
Exactly. Now let's shift gears to Neptune. The planet of dreams, illusions, and that spiritual exploration is currently swimming through its home sign of Pisces, which is amplifying that mystical energy.
Neptune in Pisces. Oh, that sounds like a cosmic invitation to dive into our creativity and connect with something bigger than ourselves.
Right.
But I know Neptune can also be a bit of a trickster, all those illusions and escapism.
Right. It's crucial to find that balance between embracing Neptune's inspiring energy and staying grounded in reality.
So maybe it's about channeling that heightened intuition into like artistic expression or spiritual practices while also making sure we're not avoiding real life responsibilities.
Precisely. Now let's turn our attention to Pluto, the planet of transformation and power. It's currently making its way through Aquarius, which is all about revolutionizing the way we connect and build community.
Pluto in Aquarius for quite some time. That sounds like a major shift in how we interact with each other and the world around us.
Indeed, Pluto in Aquarius wants us to question authority, challenge the status quo, and embrace our unique individuality within the context of community.
So it's about finding our tribe, but also about being true to ourselves, even if it means standing out from the crowd.
That's a great way to put it. Now let's delve into something a bit more personal. Your Lilith placement in astrology. Lilith represents our shadow self, our rebellious instincts, and our deepest desires.
Oh, Lilith, the shadow self. Now, this is where things get really interesting.
It's a point of raw power and authenticity. Your Lilith placement can reveal those areas where you might feel most misunderstood or where you're most empowered to break free from those societal expectations.
So it's about owning those parts of ourselves that might not fit neatly into those conventional boxes, those aspects that make us unique and sometimes a little rebellious.
Exactly. Lilith reminds us that there's power in our vulnerability, our imperfections, and our willingness to challenge the
I
norms.
love that embracing our wholeness, shadows, and all. It's like integrating all the different pieces of ourselves to become more complete,
Now, remember those interplanetary aspects we talked about earlier? They add another layer of complexity to the astrological landscape.
right? Those conversations between the planets that create all sorts of interesting dynamics. I'm ready to decode some more of those cosmic messages.
Hmm.
What else can you tell us?
Okay, let's look at an example in your chart. We see a harmonious trine between Venus in Aquarius and Saturn in Capricorn.
Okay, so Venus is about love, beauty, and relationships, while Saturn represents structure and discipline. What happens when they connect in a trine?
A trine creates a sense of ease and flow. It suggests that you might find it easier to express your affection in a structured and responsible way.
So maybe this is a good day to have a heart-to-heart conversation with a loved one about long-term goals or plan a romantic getaway that's both fun and practical.
Exactly. The Venus-Saturn trine provides a supportive energy for building those solid foundations in relationships.
This is fascinating.
Hmm.
I'm starting to see how all these different planetary placements and aspects weave together to create this tapestry of possibilities for the day.
It's like we're piecing together a cosmic puzzle. But remember, astrology isn't about predicting the future. It's a tool for self-awareness and empowerment.
It's about understanding the energies at play so that we can make choices that align with our highest aspirations.
Precisely so. As we move into the final part of our deep dive, I invite you to think about how you can use this astrological knowledge to create a day that is both meaningful and fulfilling.
Stay tuned, everyone, because we're about to reveal how to put all this cosmic wisdom into action. Okay, welcome back to the final part of our deep dive, December 29th.
We've covered a lot, haven't we? I mean, we talked about that grounded ambition of Capricorn and the adventurous spirit of Sagittarius. And let's not forget the revolutionary energy of Pluto in Aquarius.
It's been quite the whirlwind tour of the astrological chart, but now it's time to, distill it all down. Like, what are the key takeaways for today? What should our listener really focus on?
I think what's really fascinating is the interplay between structure and freedom. We've got this push and pull between Capricorn's desire for order and Sagittarius's thirst for, exploration.
It's like this cosmic dance between discipline and spontaneity.
Exactly. And then you throw in Uranus and Taurus and its unpredictable energy. Well, it's definitely a day to embrace flexibility and be open to unexpected detours.
So how can our listener actually put all this astrological wisdom into practice? What are some, I don't know, some tangible things they can do to make the most of this unique energy?
Well, remember that Moon-Mercury conjunction in Sagittarius we talked about?
Uh-huh.
Use that to your advantage. Engage in stimulating conversations. Explore new ideas. Be open to learning something new.
I love that. It's like giving ourselves permission to be intellectually curious and adventurous.
Right. And then there's that Mars-Pluto opposition. Instead of getting caught up in power struggles, try channeling that intensity into something productive. Tackle a challenging project. Assert yourself, but in a healthy way. Or you could even find a physical outlet for that, pent-up energy.
It's about using that cosmic fuel to propel ourselves forward instead of letting it burn us out.
Exactly. And when it comes to that Jupiter-Saturn square, well, remember, patience is key. This aspect might bring a few delays or setbacks, but it's also an opportunity to really build a solid foundation for future growth.
It's about focusing on the long game and trusting that even if things aren't moving as quickly as we'd like, we're still making progress.
Exactly. And here's a question for you, dear listener. How can you embrace both the structure of Capricorn and the expansive energy of Sagittarius to make the most of today?
Maybe it's about setting clear goals, but being flexible in your approach. Or working hard, but also making time for activities that bring you joy and inspiration.
Right. It's all about finding that sweet spot that works for you. Remember, astrology is a tool for self-discovery. It's about understanding the energies at play and then making conscious choices that align with your values and aspirations.
We're not just passive recipients of cosmic influences, right? We have the power to shape our own destinies.
Absolutely. The stars can guide us, but ultimately, we are the captains of our own ships.
Well said. Well, as we conclude this deep dive, I want to leave you with this. Remember, December 29th offers this unique blend of energies, inviting you to balance ambition with exploration, discipline with spontaneity. How can you honor both of these aspects of yourself, not just today, but in the days and weeks to come?
Keep exploring, keep growing, and keep reaching for the stars.
Beautifully said. Thanks for joining us on this cosmos journey. Until next time, keep looking up, and remember, You have the power to create a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling.